Welcome to a vibe coding session. What I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be building this app called Time Travel AI. So where we're going to start here today, because I already know what we're going to be using. I could create like a little text editor, kind of create a list. First of the pipeline is going to be a iOS app. And then we're going to have a camera permission, capture image, take photo, analyze image, send image to API. I've used Gemini for most of these sorts of things. Analyze image, return story. Read story with AI TTS model. A story role play. This is classic planning. Just pull out a text editor, just pull out a notepad and start planning it out. App user journey. So app description is a good way to put it, but I think app user journey is even more valid. Start by selecting the date you would like to travel to and taking a picture of your surroundings, e.g. historical place. I have a nice espresso latte right here, guys. Taking a picture of your surroundings, granting location permissions for exact geolocation for extra data for best results. Really taking what I'm doing here. This is obviously it's a very native thing to me and very fluent in planning these things out. But for your first time, just think deeply about first like a list of kind of the components you're gonna need. Like you could kind of say this is like feature list, feature requirements or components. And then app user journey is also really important always. User journey is something that just describes more of a story about like, oh, I open the app, you're basically how you use the app. AI model will respond and be prompted to create a story, a short story, maybe a few paragraphs. We can be more specific on this later. Role play from the perspective. Now, just planning out like this, you're going to be able to use this idea to be like, hey, ChatGPT, please create me a prompt that will do this. And then it will create you a really nice, like, in the style that AI likes, like a prompt. Okay, so there you go. So that's how the system works. And this is basically our whole app right here. So the next thing we do, we've planned out our text documentation. We've planned out our app user journey. Sometimes if I really wanted to explore, like I didn't know how this could be done, I would do something like a voice, like I would open up ChatGPT and start with voice mode and say, hey, I'm looking to do this type of app. It works like this. But since I know what type of components I'm going to be working with, as you see, an image analyzer, a TTS model, basic camera permission, I really know where to start, and the next step is just to design some type of interface. I feel like if you took this example and you said, hey, build me this app, it's gonna do it. But I think the apps look very much like when you just go straight from text. The AI model like ChatGPT will not exert any more energy than it needs to. It will pretty much just make you something that, yes, functionally works like this, but it will not be very imaginative of, okay, what would actually be a good UX or UI to present this in. It knows its only goal as an AI is to make you happy and meet your requirements. So it will not only match these text written requirements, it will also match visual response requirements. So I want some type of like wheel. I think gold is pretty valid right now. I like that. We change the color though. I like that. What is better? I think this one is not a good user interface. Not at all. Should we start at 50 years ago? I mean, that's literally like your parents. Bro, Canva's good at this stuff. Like, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I want like a silver gradient. Check this out. So please create the full code. And update the content, because we're just going to use the first view to be fully ready using the Gemini API and the OpenAI API for image analysis and writing the story. When the start button is clicked, the camera will open to take the photo. Once photo is processed, is taken, and user clicks use, will start. Send the image for analysis. Pass geo coordinates. Year selected. Selected to pass this to the model to write the story. Awesome. So this is my full, like, you could say this is a prompt, but this is the full app plan. I have something like this in my course, but there's lots of good lessons. I'm gonna use the Einstein quote to describe this. Like, give me an hour to solve a problem. I'm gonna spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solution. So in this AI age, like, the 5-minute solution is maybe a 2-minute solution, because AI will only take what you just spent an hour working on and shoot back a fully ready system. It's maybe going to try and one-shot your whole code file here. But since we've spent an hour to plan this out, it will feel like that quote will make a lot of sense to you. Like, really planning out is the alpha here. Okay, guys, so we have our code base here. This is an Xcode project. I'm going to click app. We're going to call it Time Travel AI. Oh, now we have created our new Xcode project. So we pretty much already have an app. If I want to run this right now, it will run. Give me the hello world. So I'm just going to take this code copy, put that into my prompt, in my text edit. So we're going to grab that. We're going to go into ChatGPT. We're going to paste the whole thing, big message. And then we're going to grab our mockup, right? And paste it in. A Time Travel AI. This is really good. I do need to put my API keys in. Basically, we just need to do it in 3 different steps. First, analyze the image. These will work. And then second, we can don't use Gemini. We can actually chat open AI for the historical day in the life type role playing, putting the person getting this story read to them. All right, so we're loaded up, y'all. You can add a splash screen. I'll show you how to do that later, but here's our main app. Let's go back 300 years. Okay, so processing seems to be running now, which is positive, because finally we're using a model that's actually supported. Probably kind of the problem all along. As you can see, this starts to take a while. That's how you know you're onto something. Usually anything with image analysis takes a while. So right now would be a good time to play like a Google ad. I think in a future video will be like how to add ads to an app. Like right now would be a good time to add like a nice like video ad pop-up while you load. It's like you're chilling there anyway. Okay.
A soft mist clung to the ground,
What?
weaving through the wooden structures that dotted the landscape. The faint sounds of sheep bleating in the distance mingled with the occasional crack of a twig underfoot.
Oh, y'all, I've been tripping.
Previous day's labors still carried the scent of parchment and parchment. The sun's rays began to warm the earth, casting long shadows as I made my way to my makeshift workspace, a sturdy desk fashioned from reclaimed timber. I brushed away the remnants of last night's work. Scrolls sprawled with ink, and a half-finished manuscript awaiting my careful hand.
Manuscript?
The soft glow of a tallow lamp
200 years ago.
life on the desk, illuminating my tools, sharpened quills, an ink pot, and a collection of vibrant pigments. As the day unfolded, the village stirred to life. The rhythmic sounds of a blacksmith hammering iron echoed nearby, while the laughter of children chasing one another filled the air. I immersed myself in my writing, crafting tales of ancient heroes and distant lands, tales that would be shared by the fireside come winter. Occasionally, I would pause, listening to the chatter of neighbors, exchanging news as they passed with baskets filled with early harvests. With the day waning, the warm glow of my lamp became my sole companion, illuminating the words I inscribed. The world outside grew quiet, save for the rustling leaves and distant calls of night creatures. As darkness enveloped the village, I felt content. lost in a realm of stories, shaping the very fabric of our history with each stroke of my quill.
Hold on. To be honest, I think like it's actually onto something here, because I just showed it a picture of my desk with a computer. I'm like, what would this be like if we were, 300 years ago? And it's like, it said York, which is the region I am in, respect. And it literally was like imagining, I have like a pen and paper on my desk, I have a computer. It's like imagining this guy 300 years ago. What would this same exact scene be? Because I was like, why am I a guy with like writing and manuscripts and quotes? It's because it literally was smart. It's like, oh, we have a laptop, we have a guy that clearly enjoys this type of deep work. What would his deep work look like 300 years ago? So I would say this is a major success, guys. We've just planned out this app. We went from planning. Just pop out my API keys right here. I'd say this was a major success. We went from planning out our full plan right here. You could see this note. We have the requirements, list of requirements. We have the app user journey. So this walks you through the entire user journey. Then kind of the prompt here for like the complex prompt and everything with the placeholder code. We had our mock-up for the time travel AI. That you just set your time, you take a photo of where you are, and it like travels you back in time to like, what would this be like 300 years ago? Super cool app idea. And I think I want to like edit and adjust my interface a little bit. The dial doesn't feel too good and responsive, but literally as simple as that. So you can build simple AI wrappers, but this is not simple. I know I'm kind of using a simple example because the result is easy to measure and doesn't take too much fine tuning. I think I could fine tune the prompt a little bit more. But ultimately, think about the things I used. Image analysis to gather my surroundings. That's how it's like creating the idea that I would be like with a quill and ink on my manuscript, because I'm like only really showed it a picture of my desk with computers and stuff. So it's putting me literally what I would be doing 300 years ago. So if I was out like on a river, it would probably be a very different cool story. If I was at some historical site, it would probably take me to that historical time. Like if I'm in like the Plaza of Florence, it'd be like, wow, okay, there'd be merchants. It'd really take me deep into this idea, which I love that. I love that whole concept. And then, so it's analyzing the image. It's being contextually aware of its multimodal surroundings, inputting that, generating an analyzation text that's like providing more context from the image to really put you in the space. It's then using my location, which is important. That's just kind of like a feature on a web app, and any type of app can really call a device location, your geolocation, very specific. So it can be even more accurate, because sometimes we don't want to only rely on the image to pick up that exact location of where you are, to make the story better. And then it's taking all that context, using a text generation model. So this is going to create our output. And then it's using a TTS model, which is text to speech. So it's using a text to speech model to then speak and tell this story for like a better user interface. Of course, we can make this a little bit more fun. I mentioned putting an ad in there. That could be fun. Putting an ad, just like you literally kind of have to wait as the story gets processed, all those pipelines hit. So it doesn't feel like a bad thing at all. And that's how you make an AI wrapper, guys.